doing today? My name's Bradley Peters, and I'm going to teach you how to save some money on your school textbooks, and I'm going to try to persuade you to stop buying books at the UOB bookstore. Okay, first, the problem. This is all according to the Florida Department of Education. First, your average textbook, this includes undergrad and graduate, costs $135 a year, which is very expensive for students. And per semester, we pay about $650, so which is, supplies too, but it's a good deal of money. Also, the average student, when they return their books to bookstores like Barnes & Nobles, they only get 26% of their book value, but I usually get a lot less, so I don't know if they come up with these statistics. And the average book, shelf life of a book you buy new is 1.2 years, so basically they'll come up with a newer edition after about 1.2 years. The problem continued. There's fewer purchasers of these kind of books, so it justifies the higher price, which is, I somewhat agree with it. Also, there's few producers. It's kind of a monopoly. You have Houghton, which makes most of your educational books. You have West for law. You have Pearson's, McGraw-Hill. I mean, I'd say 90% of my books are either West or McGraw-Hill. There's really no other competitors out there. Also, new editions are a huge problem for us because usually they're not really filled with updated information. It's just kind of a stream of income. And another problem is there's little incentive for institutional change. Most colleges have agreements with bookstores because it saves them money. And I kind of a little story, one of my professors made me buy her book that she wrote for her Women in Politics class, also her Heightened Democracy class, which is about civil liberties. And the classes had nothing to do with each other, but there were new editions, so that's also a reason why things don't change. Also, the government doesn't really do much. It's basically a monopoly, but there's been, no interference by anybody. I know Obama was talking about doing something, but I'm not sure if they have a lobby group. I doubt that, but still, nothing's really been done. But the good news is you have options. The library is a good place to look. They normally have reserves, which you could go in and, look. Also, Barnes & Nobles, even though I bash them, it's always the easiest. You can rent and get used books. Renting is the newest one, which I've just seen the last 2 semesters, and from what I've heard, it's a good thing to do unless you highlight your books a lot like me. Also, book websites like Amazon, they back the books they sell, so there's really no problem there, and basically the product is controlled by the seller, which might be somebody who's selling the used books, so you probably get a better deal on the books. Plus you can go to Valor, Half.com, Textbooks.com. Also ebooks, which I don't really like, but you pay about 66% of the value, but you also get no return. And you only have them for, I think it's a 180-day subscription. And also books, forums, another place. I know Barnes & Noble has their university where students can buy and sell, but once again, they change so often that if you use one book for 2 semesters, it's probably worth it, so they're not the best. But Big Words is a new one, which they actually kind of like a Walmart style, where they buy a bunch of books and then sell them, ones that were outdated for some schools. Then also photocopying, which I wouldn't recommend because it's copyright infringement plus, well actually I don't think it is unless you're selling it, but it's also very time consuming. But if you go to the library, I think we get 350 pages free printing a year, so something to think about. Also, a new trend is coupon sites like textbookcoupons.com and swoopdat.com, which you save up to about 75% on your textbooks. And also early editions, like I've had many textbooks where I've looked at early editions, and nothing changes except the problems, especially in business at the end of the chapters. So these are the steps that I hope you take to kind of save some money. First, register early, know what you actually need, so you can kind of anticipate and you can order it and you have time. Check your university library to see if they have those e-reserves. Shop around online, see what you should be paying. Ask acquaintances. Like I know, I've asked friends, and my fraternity has like a library where if you have used books and they don't give it back to you, we can kind of share them that way, and then Nationals pays us a little money, so but we saved a lot of money throughout that. And then check the university bookstore. Once you know what a good price is, you can see if You know, sometimes if they're selling used books, you can get a deal. And then check online, go to ebooks, used, new forums. And then once you find the best price, make a purchase. And if you follow these steps, according to Megan Dougherty at UNC Gazette, you'll save about 22 to 30% per semester. And over the duration of your undergrad, you could save up to $1,200. Thank you.
Excellent.